It's time to get your geek on. It's 2GeeksTV. With your hosts, Victor and Sean.
Keep on geeking on. This is S-Mac at the Hamilton Dark Carnival 2016, and here we are at the IndieCan Entertainment. Well, what can you tell me about IndieCan?
So I'm a producer in Toronto. I've made 50 films. Almost 5 years ago, I decided that independent cinema in Canada was lacking an opportunity to get distribution in our country. So I started IndieCan Entertainment with the idea of helping independent films find an audience through distribution. So in almost 5 years, I've distributed 68 titles in Canada.
Well, independent films of all different types and all different genres, I'm gathering on this one. Yeah. Here's a good question for you. Yeah. Independent films as it stands today, which is the hardest one do you figure getting a foothold in today's film industry?
Well, I mean, it's hard to finance independent films in Canada now. The money isn't there like it used to be. So where I used to make $6 million movies now, I'm now making them for under $500,000. It's hard. It's hard to raise the money. It's hard to get distribution. It's hard to get broadcasters. I mean, we're in a situation now with one of our main broadcasters is in bankruptcy protection right now. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to finance the films. It's tough to get them on Canadian television because most Canadian broadcasters are broadcasting non-Canadian films. So it's a slug. I mean, I've been doing this 23 years. Like I said, made over 50 films, and it's harder to make them now than it's ever been.
Well, as a fan of, pretty much a lot of what we call smaller budget films myself, to the fans, to the general public, to the viewers out there, what can we do to help?
Well, I mean, I think that we as Canadians have always we always ask for people to watch and support Canadian cinema, to watch and support Canadian music, artists, and things like that. But we don't. We typically go to the movie theater, we see Captain America and all these other big budget films, and the Canadian independent films that go to theaters, it's hard to get people to go and see. Most of the people that go and see Canadian independent films are people that are within the industry or friends and family. But the average moviegoer doesn't really go out to watch Canadian films. We need to support our own. If we don't, there will be no Indigenous industry in Canada. So we need to support our local talent as much as possible.
Well, you heard there, folks. Do us all a favor. Lots of local talent out there, directors, film writers, actors. The industry is struggling. Let's do our part. When something's out in the theaters, let's spend just a few bucks. Let's get ourselves out there. Let's build our industry up. Once again, this is S-Mac of 2GeeksTV.
Thank you.
Keep on geeking on. Keep on geeking on.